We are not on good terms. We are no longer on good terms. I'm done with you all. You doomed me by making me build this modern minimalist home. So if you're new to my channel, this is not necessarily the best first impression and probably not the best video to start off with, but I posted this poll on my YouTube channel and I wanted you all to pick what I end up building next. And I had like this rustic cottage vibe, traditional suburban, modern minimalist, and this kind of Mediterranean vibe. And as a side note, I've already done a couple of cottage builds. I love doing cottage builds, and I'll link those down below if you want to go check those out. And then we had a tie between a traditional suburban and the modern minimalist build, both of which I've not done. I've never done a minimalistic build, and I've never done a traditional like blue suburban build. And so right from there, I knew I was doomed. But then you all had to take it one step further and do the minimalistic build, which haunts me to this day. So if you're new to my channel, I'm very much a maximalist. I love clutter. I love making builds that are very lived in and have a lot of backstory and lots of items that kind of help with the storyline that I have for the Sims living there. So anyway, long story short, you all doomed me. We're in a fight and we'll get through it. So this is available on the gallery, and I know from the surface what you're thinking, like, what an absurd amount of packs for a minimalist build. It is minimalist, okay? I don't want to hear it from anyone. This is a minimalistic build, and yes, I used a lot of packs, but I'm sorry, I was going for the vibe. If I can't have my items, I wanted to make the vibe at least fit what I was going for with the modern. So I built this house in Willow Creek on this 30 by 20 lot. So as you can see, I definitely used that photo for inspiration for this build, basically mimicked it a little bit because I thought it was a really cool vibe with all the windows and natural light that can come in. And I wanted to go for something that was super simple. So, you know, I used it for more the exterior inspo, but then the interior was all me. So kind of the vibe with this build was to use a lot of like earthy tones. So I used kind of this like greenish gray color that I thought was kind of soft and was easy to incorporate throughout the house. And then I accented it with this yellowish color scheme with like bronzy, gold, coppery type metal tones in. So I thought it was a whole vibe, but once you come through this big front door, you enter the kitchen, which is huge, spacious. I love the way this kitchen turned out. I think it's like a really pretty vibe for, you know, this type of home. And if you know me and you've seen my previous videos, you know how much I like the cluttered kitchens especially. So yes, I have some clutter items, but it is not at all crowded or, you know, overdone. And I thought it was cute when you walk into the front right here, you have this little bowl to put your keys and other types of things like maybe mail. Obviously, most people would not just leave their phone in a bowl. They would always have that on their person, but you know, can't really separate the two. But I kind of did this custom island, and you might be thinking like, it's not really custom, but with the width of it, I had to combine both the island pieces and the regular counter pieces, because obviously if you put two island pieces back to back, like I wouldn't be able to like put a sink that you could use here. And it would be extra wide. And then two counter pieces, you can't sit at the counter pieces and eat. So I kind of just stuck them on top of one another like this, or back to back rather. And it creates this kind of cool big island space. And then one thing that I put off to the side over here, you have a cute little coffee tea bar area right next to the staircase. And then you have this own like temperature controlled nectar room. So I thought it was kind of neat to have this nectar cellar of some sort that you could walk into, grab, and have that off the kitchen space. So I thought that was like a neat little feature to have. Again, just trying to incorporate wood tones. So I put the wood bar stools here to offset a lot of like the metal and black. So I mixed a lot of wood tones in the sense of putting some dark colored wood against some light colored wood, and I think it turned out pretty nicely. So over here off the kitchen on this platform that's sticking out is a half bath. So you have this cute little half bath. I use a lot of spa day for the bathrooms, so you'll see a lot of that, but cute little bathroom with the light and dark browns. So you'll see that throughout as well. And then off of that is this living space, which I think is a really cool vibe. So I do have a nursery upstairs, which is why I put this right here, but I had the black furniture and I was trying to offset that with lighter colored wood tones. So the dining table over here is light wood, the chairs have like a lighter wood, and then I did this custom like modular media area in the living space. And the nice thing with this space as a whole is that there were so many windows that it kind of helped keep it minimalistic because I couldn't put stuff up against the walls over here. So that kind of was like a nice accident in the sense of it helped me not clutter too much. And the only wall space I had to work with was this little spot over here. So it made sense that the TV needs to go on this wall. It kind of helped bring it together a lot easier. And since I can't use a lot of clutter, I was trying to see like what I could do because I always like to do something that's kind of unique in my builds. And I was like, well, I don't have much to work with if I can't put a lot of clutter. So I was like, let's work with the furniture. So I did this custom couch and the sofa kind of wraps around to be multifunctional for both the living and dining spaces. So I thought this was a really cool thing that I've not seen in any builds. I'm not claiming I'm the first to do this, but I thought it was a really cool way to incorporate and make both spaces kind of come together. And you have such a really nice view in this room. It's so beautiful to have all that natural light coming in. I didn't want to cover it with curtains, and I just didn't think that was a vibe from the front. So I left it really open from the front, which can be a little bit weird in real life, but this is The Sims, not real life, thankfully. So we don't have to worry about that. Over as we go upstairs, I kind of thought it was cool. I did a couple of like kind of custom things with the staircase. First of all, I thought it was cool to have it wrap around like this. So I put a platform in the middle and it kind of extends the staircase a little bit with it looking like it wraps around. So I thought that was like a neat little feature to bring this wall over as well. So you can't really see the staircase. And then I hand placed all of these lights on each side of the steps to kind of give this cool light effect for the staircase. Kind of a neat vibe. Lastly, what I did too, as you can see, is from the nectar cellar area, I put a big window so you can see into it. And so as you go up the stairs, I thought it was kind of a neat little feature that you can see into that room. So I was trying to utilize a lot of like the main big furniture pieces and just the design of like the walls and basic stairs and things like that to make it more unique since I couldn't work with, a lot of clutter and cool items and things like that. So once you come upstairs, you can see that there's this landing right here and it goes to like a pretty large hallway. But before we get over here, I just wanted to point out that we do have a little laundry space off to the side. And then right here, you might be thinking like, it's kind of weird that I didn't put a curtain in front of this window. I was kind of thinking this was one curtain rod and you could slide this curtain over to this window if you wanted to cover that window and have this one open. And the reason why I did this too was that if you were to place this curtain right here, it kind of cuts off the door, which looks really weird to me. And that bothered me more than just having a curtain here and then just the rod on this one. So we're pretending here that you can kind of shift the curtain over if you wanted to. So as you come over here, you have a nice little bookcase area. And then off of that, you have the first bedroom I'm going to show, which is for the 2 teenagers that we have in this house. And I know what you're thinking initially looking at this room with that it's supposed to be minimalistic. It is minimalistic. Okay, let me make my argument here. We only have a lot of furniture in here because it's for 2 Sims. So you have 2 beds, 2 nightstands, 2 lamps, and 2 wardrobes. Like that's the bulk of the furniture in this room. So if it was just 1 Sim, like that's just 3 main pieces of furniture. Very minimalistic. Okay, now I did add a desk over here and a mirror because I thought that was a nice vibe and touch. And also having, 2 teens, 1 laptop, I think is minimalistic thinking in that. But I just put some flowers and a little statue. I don't think that's overly cluttered. I think it's still minimalistic vibes, especially for me. So you have to keep that in mind. Relative to me, that is minimalistic. And then all I did over here was I put this cute little book nook area with a bookshelf and some seating and a plant because I thought with these front-facing windows that would be kind of a nice vibe to get some sunlight in here and that'd be a fun little space to kind of hang out. Overall, I would argue that this is still minimalistic vibes, okay? It's minimalistic for me. So don't come at me. I really tried. And if you're used to my builds, you can tell that I really tried to stick with minimalism by looking at that. And so the hallway kind of extends over here. It's a long hallway and then it gets wider right here. I put a little feature with some wall art there. And then off to the end here, you have a little bit of like a corner from the sectional and a pillow. And I thought you could just come grab a book down here and come over here and sit down and read if you wanted to. But it's just kind of like a nice way to fill the space. Yes, minimalism, but still I wanted to put something small here. So bear with me, okay? Right off of that bedroom, we have a bathroom between that bedroom and the nursery. And so this bathroom has a lot of spa day vibes as well, which I had already mentioned, and brought in some darker wood tones in this space with black, which I thought was kind of unique in the way that it matched the shower, because we have a dark kind of brown color in the shower with the black. And so I played on that, and then the tile kind of matches the shower handle. So the shower was pretty much the inspo for the color combinations in this bathroom with the black and the brown. And then over off of there is the nursery. This was my first nursery, and I will say doing a nursery, especially my first nursery, and a minimalistic build was not the right option because there were so many things I wanted to do and use. If you watched me start building this, which I did on my Twitch stream, I do upload VODs over on my Dr. Sims Live Mode channel. I stream every day, every Wednesday from 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern. And so if you were there for that stream, I originally had this wallpaper because I thought it was really cute, but in the spirit of minimalism, I changed it to this because you don't normally use a lot of patterned wallpapers and things like that in minimalistic builds. And so I was really trying to stick to the theme, and I hope you can see that from me taking that out, even though I really loved it and I prefer it. But I put a lot of elephants in here because that's the vibe I was going for. I love the elephants. I think they're cute. It's my favorite animal. So lots of elephants going on, and kind of this faint yellow with the green. So keeping the green and yellow kind of color scheme that I have in the house. And then at the end of the hallway is our primary bedroom. And so lots of green in here. I thought it was kind of nice to use that dark brown paneling that I've used as accents like out in the hallway. And then I used it downstairs on this bump out. And then I also used it on the bump out here as well on the exterior. So I used that for the bed wall for the accent color. And so put this painting which had some orange in it as well, which I played on a little bit. So you have orange in these plants right here, orange over there, and then a little bit of like an orange color in the rug right there as well. So trying to keep with the theme of minimalism in here. I put curtains across all of these windows because, like, let's be real, whenever you have this many windows and it's facing your bed and you want to sleep in, you need some, blackout curtains, which these are definitely not that, but we're using what we can in here. But the nice thing with this painting is that it also had this kind of nice muted blue color, which works really well with this green in my opinion. So that's why I use this rug, because I thought it tied in all of the colors really well, and it's not overly like busy, I don't think, for a minimalistic build. I put this office area over here, so you have the bookcase, which is kind of bringing that blue tone in as well, and a little dresser over here. And I thought that the rest of the room would be nice to have paneling as well, and I used this light colored wood, so we have a lot of contrast, but I think it works really well with this flooring from Eco Lifestyle because it also has brown tones, but these like gray tones as well as the lighter kind of gray beige tone, which is kind of matching the paneling on the walls everywhere else. So I thought this was kind of a nice way to combine the greens and blues in this space with the browns. And then off of that we have the master bathroom, which is also light and dark brown tones. And so I kind of used that as an accent throughout and put this whole wall as like the dark brown, and then used these pieces from Eco Lifestyle to kind of lighten it up with the bathtub as well. And I think it turned out really well, even though it's like a lot of browns. I think it works well together, and I put this kind of bluish green tile, which we see in the other bathroom. And originally this little closet over here was 3 tiles, but I was like, it'd be nice to have a little bit of a feature wall. So yes, it's a little bit of clutter, but I still think that this is like minimalistic. It's only 1 item per shelf. It's not super busy looking, but it adds a little more interest to the bathroom. So that's what I was going for in this room, and I think it kind of came together really nicely. The last thing I want to point out is that this is the secret door bookcase. So to get out to this balcony, I thought it would be kind of neat to use this bump out as like a hallway to get to the outdoor space that's hidden. So I love sometimes, in a lot of my modern builds especially, I like hiding the doors because I think it just lends a more elegant, sleek look to the design from the front of the house, as opposed to like just having a door front facing. You have a nice area outside to just sit down. I put a drink tray. You can just relax. For the outside, essentially, you can tell like it's just a bench here with some seating over here. I have a water feature off the side there. I was very minimal in my landscaping, which was also kind of difficult, and I left it to be like simple, just green landscaping, so like greenery in general. I didn't use like flowers and things like that, so it's very muted outside. I put this walkway that you can come around over here too. I put these like multi-platforms. I thought it was kind of a unique design to include. One thing I hadn't done before that I think I'm going to do a lot more often is using recessed lighting for the outdoors. I think it really helped the house look minimalistic because you don't have wall sconces and things like that all over the place. So it's just a lot of clean lines and clean walls. And so I really like the vibe of that. I don't know, I hadn't done it before, but I kind of had this lip extending out on this side, and it was perfect to hide some lights up under for the outside instead of like putting wall sconces. But I will say it looks very plain, but that was, you know, the theme. That was the challenge. And for me, that is a challenge. I don't like blank walls and spaces. Once you get out here to the back patio space, I sunk this little area in for like the fire pit. We have like a modern fire pit with an umbrella, so nice little area to hang out. I put a little grill over here and then just a nice area to eat outside and relax. So that's pretty much the build, you guys. I hope you like it. As I do in all my builds, I had an object, and for this one, I hid this starter magical plants, so these seeds, somewhere, because it's Terra Verde, you know, earthy tones, and I used green a lot, and so a lot of the green and a lot of the landscaping is just greenery, so I was like, let's just hide some like green plant seeds. I don't know. I was trying to keep with the minimalistic vibe for that. Good luck finding this. I think it'll be a lot easier to find, and it was visible in this video as I was touring the house. I've heard from you all that some of my hidden objects are a little too hard to find, so this one's a little bit easier for you guys, and I think it lends also to the challenge of it being minimalistic, so, you know, I don't think it needs to be difficult. But yeah, let me know what you think about this build. I had a lot of fun doing it. It just was a challenge. And if you want to see how frustrated it made me, then you can go check out the VODs. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did and you want to stick around for more of my builds, feel free to subscribe. I'd appreciate it. I'd love to have you be part of the community. And with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye. I think I'm gonna try to start actually playing The Sims instead of just building, and I think this would be a really great house to kind of start with, to like eventually build out and fill up a little bit more. What do you guys think?